Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. We are going live. Good morning, YouTube. So we are going live. Give me just a few minutes. I'm going to be recording this as well for my podcast, my soon to come up podcast. By the way, I just wanted to let you guys know as you filter into the room, I actually started a Patreon. It's been a long time coming, but I started Patreon because I wanted to give you guys a chance to join Joy Tribe. Good morning, Joy Tribe. It's morning here in Los Angeles. If you're watching live, then it should be morning still for you. But I wanted to give you a chance to support my channel, which is really important to me. And I know a lot of you have been giving tips and support. And I'm so incredibly blessed to be able to have you. So I just want to give you guys a chance. You can click down there for the hello, child of God. Good morning, Joseph from Ireland. Hello, Joy Tribe. Welcome to the show. Oh, this is loud. Welcome to the show. This is live streaming on YouTube. I am actually going to throw up a Periscope as well. And I am also recording it on my podcast, The Joy Villa Show. I think I've almost settled on the names. Thank you so much for your suggestions on what should my podcast be called. And by the way, my podcast will be self-funded, but every dollar counts. So you can tip me here on YouTube, or you can click on the Patreon and go ahead and tip. That'll go towards producing my podcast, the microphone, the lights, the video, all that good stuff. So let me just throw a Periscope as well as you guys are coming into the room, because we're going to do we do triple mama. We have a lot of stuff going on right now. So I'm just going to say Joy Villa Show. This is getting up going for the Joy Villa Show. Today's news. Weinstein. What else is happening? Weinstein, Trump, singing, recap, podcast. All right. All right. Hey, good morning. We have the same birthday. Hey, good morning, Periscope. Good morning. So I'm just going to set up the Periscope now. Oh, this is going to be juicy. This is going to be good. So Periscope, hello. Ken is up on the Periscope. So you guys on YouTube can hear me through this nice mic. Periscope, I'm looking a little shiny. Let me just put up there we go. Let's see. Oops. Putting on some more sound. Let's check on the lights here. There we go. So we are live on Periscope. We are live on YouTube. And let's just dive right into it. And we are also recording for my podcast, my soon-to-be upcoming podcast. Down this gain a little more. You know how we do. Getting this going here. Hello. Check. So we are live on YouTube. We are live on not Instagram, but on Periscope. And we are recording. I'm glad the sound sounds good. We are recording for my new podcast, which I'm pretty much going to say it's going to be called The Joy Villa Show. Good morning. Shout out from Friendswood, Hide and Watch in Friendswood, Texas. I went out there and volunteered after the hurricanes. How are you guys doing in Friendswood? I was out there clearing out stuff, helping make barbecue and food, feeding you guys, meeting you guys, doing some video. We got some Alex Jones fans up in there. Oh man, that was one of the most fulfilling things in my life, which was after the hurricane, going and volunteering, helping out, and giving out also gift cards. So people that didn't have the money could buy groceries and diapers and things like that. So I know you guys are still cleaning up and it's not totally finished yet in Friendswood. So how are you guys doing? I'd love to go back in and see how it's going there. All right. Oh, we share the same birthday, Antonio. Good morning. Thank you. So I sang the national anthem for the president at the SBA Gala. You guys might have heard of that. Periscope actually pinned my broadcast, featured it. So it got over 6,000 views. It's probably like up to 10,000 by now. So cool. I was just walking through DC telling you guys what was going to happen. So first, let's recap that. It was incredible. That was for the Susan B. Anthony Gala. Can you see that? This is the booklet. Susan B. Anthony list. It empowers pro-life activism. They put a lot of pro-life leaders in Congress and in the Senate. So they have a PAC as well, which helps fund pro-life people running for office, especially women. They're very, very pro-women. So Susan B. Anthony was a classic feminist, which means she fought for the vote. She fought for the right for women to have businesses. And she was very proudly pro-life. So you might have learned about her in school. I learned about her, but I never learned about the pro-life bit, which is funny that they keep that out of schools. She was also on the dollar. There was a Susan B. Anthony golden dollar coin a few years back when I was a kid. So that was really cool. So she's like a badass woman fighting for women's rights. And of course, that means she fights for the unborn. So I love Susan B. Anthony, and this is a Susan B. Anthony list. They are very exclusive, very beautiful. They've been going for years. They're one of the oldest pro-life groups. And they had the president speak. And I'm just going to show you this for you guys who can see this. Can you see that? At the top, Kathy Ireland introduced me to sing, and then I sang the national anthem. And then you see Donald J. Trump was the keynote speaker, President Donald J. Trump. An incredible speech, by the way. You probably saw the speech. I was on Fox News, but I can't find the clip. But someone sent me a screenshot, so I know I was on Fox News. The media was there recording everything. And then, of course, also Steve Scalise was there. I got to meet him backstage. He's incredible. Majority Whip. Kellyanne Conway was there. I said hi to her. I've known her for a while. She's incredible. So it was really, really cool. Marjorie Felser. She's the president of the Susan B. Anthony list. If you want to get involved, it's only $25 to be a member, and it helps fund incredible research into helping women. It helps fund anti-abortion laws and legislation. It helps fund actually electing. We talked a lot about electing. We had like a breakfast the next day, electing Republicans who are actually pro-life, because many of them run saying they're pro-life, right? For Congress, for Senate, even for local, elections, but they don't actually vote pro-life. So their life, I sing the national anthem. I got to open and sing for the president, for thousands upon thousands of people. It was in the, let me get this right. I think it's the National Museum building. I've never been there before. It was incredible. I mean, it just incredible. I think there was about 3,000 to 5,000 people there. It was packed. Totally packed, all seats sold. These tickets were not cheap because it's a fundraiser, of course. And everyone there was happy to do it. And everyone was dressed to the nines. And I wore my iconic, everyone was saying it's now iconic dress, not my Make America Great Again dress, but my pro-life dress from this year's Grammys. So that was the incredible thing. That's right. Talk is cheap, Wesley says on Periscope. Action on pro-life is what matters in politics. It's all about action. I don't care what you say. I don't care if I've never seen you on Fox News. What are you voting for? What's action? So, and you guys might know, like, my actions are, I support the heartbeat bill. I did, I've done some work on it, doing videos. There's a video that's going to come out, which will go out to all the voters and all the, not just the constituents, but also the politicians, urging them to vote on the heartbeat bill. That is, if you can feel a heartbeat, if there is a heartbeat, then it's a living being. And that means do not abort, do not kill that baby. I just love babies, you guys. I love saving babies. I'm proudly pro-life. I wasn't always proudly pro-life. I was raised pro-life. And then I sort of was like more quietly pro-life. And I was like, well, maybe I'm supposed to be pro-choice because I'm, I'll be pro-life, but everyone else should be able to choose. And, you get this sort of indoctrination in Hollywood. It's very easy to lose your values because you're alone. So I feel like I'm the weird one. And then I realized, I'm so pro-life. I can't yeah, I can't encourage the killing of babies. I can't encourage it. But there was a little moment there where I was like, oh, why am I so pro-life? Nobody else is. And I was never not pro-life, but I was like, I'm going to choose to be pro-life and I'll let other people be pro-choice. I still feel that way, that if you're pro-choice, I'm not going to hate on you, because I have many fans, even Joy Tribers, who are pro-choice. But I always say adoption, not abortion. That's absolutely right, Sally. Adoption, not abortion. And no matter what you believe, I believe that life begins at conception, no exception. And I am extremely active in the pro-life community. Now, I walked for pro-life the UK, March for Life UK. I will be speaking at the March for Life US in January, the one with the president spoke at. I'm getting as active as I can, also with legislation, and sharing my story, because I had a crisis pregnancy at 19, 20 years old, and I gave a baby up for adoption instead of having an abortion, even though I was highly, highly pressured to do so. So it's very, very hard to have gone through that. And I understand if you're a woman struggling, or you have a family member who's struggling with a crisis pregnancy. And it doesn't mean a crisis pregnancy is you weren't expecting the pregnancy, you don't have the finances for it. Maybe you're older, maybe you thought you were done with kids, maybe your contraception failed, maybe you're using it. Oh, my American flag. Excuse me, guys. Let me fix this. But maybe you're using here, we'll do that. My old glory. I'll pin her back up. Maybe you're using it as a form of contraceptive, which is pure evil. But whatever's going on with you, if you have a crisis pregnancy, usually it's women who are just like, oh my gosh, I did not expect this. And the men as well, or a man is pressuring you. A lot of times we have girlfriends who are pressured by their boyfriends, just get rid of it. I'll pay for it, right? Listen, I'm telling you, adoption. Yes, you carry the baby to term, 9 months, life is growing inside you. You become a mother. You are a birth mother. It's the most beautiful thing. You can choose open adoption. In the US, you have the choice between open adoption or closed. Open means you legally have the right to get letters, to get photos. And in some cases, in my case, you get to actually visit the child. It's up to the adoptive parent's discretion, of course, but you can actually know your child. You can know where he or she is. And my daughter is happy, healthy. She calls me Mama Joy. It is incredible. Listen, it's going to be a painful decision no matter what. So many post-abortive women, listen, there's forgiveness, there's peace, there's no shame, blame, and regret, even though post-abortive women have so much blame, shame, and regret. So many of them are just like struggling because they know it was wrong, and they feel that life that was growing in them is now gone, and they feel guilty, and they don't know who to talk to, because in the pro-choice, see, it's a wrong moniker. You think it's really pro-choice, but they are pro-abortion. They are pro-death, because in that movement, in the pro-abortion movement, you can't talk about it. If you have abortion regret, there is nobody who's going to listen to you. There's no article on Bustle or, feminism.com or whatever, like pro-women's, even I don't even think Women's Day. I think it's a little more, they don't talk about that stuff. Even some churches won't talk about it. And that's the horrible thing, is as a community, we have to heal these women. We can't just be like, oh, over here, we pretend like nobody's had abortions and we're all about life and that's it. And then over there, they're like, we pretend like everyone's had abortions and nobody regrets it and that's it. No, there's people in the middle. There's people who have gone to they were raised very pro-choice, and then they had an abortion, then they regretted it, and then they become pro-life, but they're still like outwardly pro-choice because there's no one they can't talk about that. They get ostracized. I personally know people like this. So there has to be some more middle ground. There has to be forgiveness. There has to be love. It's not really a political issue, even though I'm highly involved in the politics of it. It is a personal issue. And do not tell people like, don't kill your baby. You're going to be a murderer. You can't tell a woman that, okay? First of all, she's already dealing with enough struggles. But what you can do is give her love and compassion. And that's what my shirt actually says. It says love, compassion, action. And this is from Save the Storks. They are a pro-life organization that shows women their babies. You can see that love, compassion. So that's what I believe in, love, compassion. Not about this like going to abortion clinics, like screaming and yelling at people and showing them pictures of dead babies. You can't do that. You have to be like one-on-one. Like, listen, I love you. You're beautiful. You are worth saving, and your baby is worth saving. So here's some adoption resources, adoption.com. Here I'll walk you through this. And I have done that for women. And if you can DM me if you're going through something like this, because I would be proud to do that, to point you into some services, some resources. And if you choose to raise your baby, that's awesome. Even if you're a single, unmarried mom or whatever, or it's from an abusive situation, like it doesn't mean you can't raise that baby. Like it may be a product of rape, but that baby is a baby. It's a life. It doesn't matter how it started. It's still a life. It deserves to be lived. And you deserve to be a mother, either a birth mom or to keep your child as an actual raising her mom. It's all beautiful. And it's not as cut and dry, you know. I was part of an abortion when I was young, and I hate myself still today. I understand, Wesley. It's hard. It's also hard for the men. Yes, Joy will respond to your messages. Thank you, Christy. I always respond, even if it might take me a little time, but I respond as quick as I can. You can also email me. That's even quicker. joy@joyvilla.com. joy@joyvilla.com. Yes, I will. It's so great. Yeah. Why would bacteria be considered life on Mars, but a heartbeat not considered on Earth? Isn't that crazy? You know, this is bothering me. I got to fix this flag. Whoops. Grab some coffee. Grab a little break. Hey, look at, I'm getting some love. Whoa. Periscope is like giving me threes. Wow. I got a super heart. Let me fix this American flag. We can't have Old Glory looking cray, you know? This is our flag. She needs the respect she deserves. So this American flag I ordered, I think at like americangifts.com or something. I ordered her on a website that sells like American stuff. I'll have to find it. Someone asked about where I got the flag from. I love this. Love it. Or I'm going to be not so freaking picky with it. It's cool. She's hanging. She's chilling. Love the American flag. I've been wanting to have a little set background where I have an American flag behind me. So really good point. Thank you, Teresa the Kid. Pro-choice, not pro-abortion. See, that's the thing is a lot of people say they're pro-choice, but why would you be against me then if I choose life, if I choose to keep my child, if I choose to adopt my child out? Like, why would you be against someone else's choice, especially as a woman to woman? But that's the thing. They will be against us because they go, oh, you're trying to take away our rights, blah, blah, blah. No one's trying to take away anything. Abortion is legal. I don't know what you're fighting for. Unfortunately, abortion is legal. I do believe abortion should not be legal except in extreme circumstances. If it's going to put the mother's life in danger to have a baby, you know, if the child is like 9 years old, unfortunately, we hear about children being raped. It's awful stuff. And then they get pregnant. Of course, like in those circumstances, that's going to actually kill the child, a child to have a child in those circumstances. But not if the child has Down syndrome, the unborn baby has Down syndrome or is deformed. Still, I don't care if you say, well, it's going to die anyways. Why would you pre-murder somebody if you think they're going to die anyways? There's people the doctor have said will never live. And then 10 years later, 20 years later, they're still thriving. So I believe God works miracles and there's healing for all. And every life deserves to be lived. So that's my stance on it. Drama Skull, it's your first day on Periscope, popping that cherry, pop. The Joy Villa Show. So welcome to the Joy Villa Show. Thank you, Lynn. Let's read some of these comments here. Hi from Paris. Wow. If you guys want to tip me, I really appreciate it. You can give me super hearts. I got some super hearts here on Periscope. Love you. Thank you. If you want to tip me here on YouTube, I really appreciate that. You know, it's my time. I don't get paid for it. What I did do is I started a Periscope. I started a Patreon. You know, I have a Periscope. I started a Patreon. So you can go to Patreon and you can go ahead and sign up. You can donate. And we're trying to get $500 a month in donations. That'll pay for all the costs of having a podcast show and everything like that. And, you know, running the electricity and all the lamps. You guys can't see, but I have lamps set up here. I have like a little studio set up. And I actually want to go into like a pro studio and get this on all things. I think common sense needs to be heard. You know, the news without a slant needs to be heard. Just common sense, political emotional, entertainment wise. And that's me. When you get the Joy Villa show, you get Joy Villa and you get my interpretation of what's going on, but you also get your interpretation because I listen to what you guys say. I love hearing contrasting opinions. I mean, that's what's missing in today's world. So, my comments on pop culture, on music, on entertainment, on politics, I'm a pro-Trumper, I'm a vegan, these things about me, but I'm not opposed to hearing the opposite side. So it's unfiltered, exactly. And it's very natural. You say, I have no makeup on. I just woke up. I said, let me do a podcast. Let me do a whole show before I jump in the gym, which I have to go to the gym. Let me get my coffee in. I do my fasted cardio. We'll also talk about fitness on the show because I know a lot of you guys have been asking me for that. So thank you. Lynn says, Joy, you are beautiful and intelligent. Antonio says, there are people who've been singing for the president at the Susan B. Anthony List Gala. I was like a queen. It was incredible. I did not get to meet the president yet, but I will. I did go to the White House in the morning. And at night, I got to spend a lot of time at the White House. East Wing in the morning, West Wing at night. So there was just an incredible, in the morning, we did a tour with some friends, all from the pro-life movement and communities, and we took pictures. It was always wonderful to be at the White House. So I've now been to the White House 5 times, twice in one day. And at night, it was a private tour of the West Wing, which was really cool. And I've been to the West Wing before. That's when I met Kellyanne Conway. That's when I met Ivanka. That was my first time at the White House. I'm so blessed. And by the way, if you've never been to the White House, you can actually write your congressman or woman, your congressperson, and ask for a request to the White House. So go to their webpage, whoever your congressperson is, and there should be some link on there where you can write them and ask for a tour. And they will give, I think it's a month in advance. You have to do it 30 days in advance. So you have time to plan your summer vacay to DC. Go see the White House. It's 100% worth it. Now I get, more private tours because they know who I am. Secret Service loves me. They're like, I love your song. I love your MAGA song, but it's still, even if you're just an average, everyday, normal citizen, you can get to see the White House. And it's really, really cool. So you should see at least once in your life. I've been to the Christmas party. I've been to all Hispanic Heritage Month. I've been to a lot of events at the White House. But it's always the same thing. I'm always like a little schoolgirl. It's my favorite place to be. So I've been 5 times now. I can actually say I've been to the White House 5 times. I mean, it never gets old. It's always a new experience. The staff are incredible. Our president and his administration are working so hard for us day in, day out. Absolutely. Oh, we got some trolls. We have to have a block party. Hey, Lynn Meyer, joy, common sense, and an open mind. Love you. Lynn Meyer just tipped me $25. $25. Woo, it's not bad for not being warmed up just in the morning. I'll sing anytime and any place. I'll be singing for that money. Lynn Meyer, thank you so much. He just tipped me $25 on YouTube. It's incredible with these tips. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Lynn. You are beautiful. Thank you. She said, common sense and an open mind. That's what I like to foster. You don't have to agree with me, but you will respect me. And I don't have to agree with you, but I will respect you. Respect. It's not political correct. It's respect. Right? So thank you so much. And on Periscope, if you want to donate, you guys can go. Your speakers just went gold. I love that. You can just go ahead and go on Patreon by patreon.com/joyvilla. That's patreon.com/joyvilla. Pledge, donate. I would love that. That keeps this broadcast going. Even $5, $5, $10, $25. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. We got a couple $50 pledges. Incredible. So respect given is respect earned. Exactly. I love hearing other people's opinions and viewpoints. Isn't that the beautiful thing is we don't 100% agree with each other. We can have different religions, races, jobs, upbringings, and yet have opinions and mindsets that are the same and some that are different and get along. I mean, obviously we're going to have some things that are the same because if everything was completely opposite, you probably would not be watching the Joy Villa show right now. You would not be part of MAGA or the Joy Tribe because if you 100% hate me, you're just a troll. But even that, if you're on my broadcast and you're a troll, there is something in here that you love. No doubt that is why I'm against boycotting. Yeah, I'm against boycotting as well. I just don't watch things I don't like. I just don't buy things I don't like, but I don't call for a boycott. I think boycotts are hurtful and make it seem like you have to agree 100% with somebody or some company or something. So I do support companies like the company that made this American flag. I'm going to have to find out who it is so I can properly give them a shout out. But I paid for it because it was like made in America, American made, and bought like American owned company. So I was like, I'm going to do that. Boycotts equal blanket hate. I agree, right? Do you guys agree? Michelle, Claire Peters, you have a show? V8 Supercar 1 has a great question. What does the inside of the White House smell like? So I'll tell you, the inside of the White House smells like wood, like mahogany. It smells like books, like old paper in a good way. It has that rich, it smells very rich. And wood, paper. It also smells a little bit like cleaning, like it's been cleaned, like the cleaning thing on wood, that lemony, but not quite lemon, but there's like a subtle clean smell because it's very clean in there. It's very like well kept. Let's see, what else does the White House smell? It smells very cozy. It smells like an old, like comforting library. It has a bit of that like a wooden library though, because DC has a lot of buildings that are like that, like very old, and I love seeing it. Flowers, it depends on where you go. You go to the gardens, it smells like flowers. It smells very fresh actually as well. There's a lot of plants in the White House, but it doesn't smell musty, but it smells like a house, like a nice house. It's hard to describe, but I think you guys get it, like nice paper, woodsy, like a wood smell. Let me try to think about what else does the White House smell like. It sounds like it smells very important. It smells like respect. Right? Yeah. Has the inside been renovated to the First Lady's taste? It's gorgeous. It's very beautiful. It is beautiful and sort of intimidating. Well, I wouldn't say it's intimidating, Wesley, for me. But it's very grand. The feeling when you enter the White House is it's very grand. I guess that could be the intimidation. Now, I've grown up visiting. I like to visit castles. I've been to castles around the world. I love architecture, big, beautiful churches in Rome and Paris. But I wasn't raised around this sort of look, so as a kid, I was raised in California and then also New York, so cities and then beach. We don't have that sort of architecture, adobe houses, not like this grand, like been there for hundreds of years. So it's very East Coast in that way. DC is very East Coast, but this transcends that. It is like a castle. It's just gorgeous. The aesthetic of it, you just go, wow, this is beautiful. And the red room is my favorite. So in the East Wing, there are different rooms that have different colors and different portraits of first ladies. And there's the green room and the red room, and they opened it up. They open it up so you can see it. But the red room is my favorite. It's all like old Victorian furniture. It's all antiques. It's how I would decorate my house. It's like if you've seen things, how I decorate. I like antiques. I like old looks, but I also like a little modern flair, and I like color. Like how I dress. I like lots of color. I like lots of texture. There's velvet curtains in the White House. It's just beautiful. Van Vum Tucker says, I will say this again, boycotting is a form of bullying. I agree. I think it's just wasted effort to boycott things. I think it's better if you just say, let's all support this company rather than let's all boycott this company. It gives more attention. You could say like, Kraft cheese, for instance. I don't know if this is true. I'm just saying this. Kraft cheese supports Planned Parenthood, so I'm not going to buy Kraft cheese. That's not really a boycott. That's just saying what you say. But a boycott would be like, everybody stop buying Kraft cheese. Let's all gather together. Stop buying Kraft, like hashtag Kraft cheese boycott because they support Planned Parenthood. Now, you could say, well, what's wrong with that? Listen, I don't buy Kraft cheese. I don't know if they support Planned Parenthood. I'm just making this up as an example. But that's wasted energy. I'd rather say, listen, I don't support Kraft cheese. I just found out they support Planned Parenthood. But Johnson family cheese, and I don't eat cheese, by the way, so this is a total made up scenario. Johnson family cheese. No, someone says I didn't know that about Kraft. No, stop it. I was just using that as an example, okay? I don't want CNN to be like, Joy Villa calls for boycott of Kraft cheese, says they support Planned Parenthood. I have no idea. But I do know, I'll tell you that, what was I going to say? Like, let's just say as an example, Johnson Family Cheese supports Trump or supports family planning, crisis pregnancy centers, then I would say, I don't support Kraft cheese, example, XYZ cheese, but I support Johnson Family Cheese. Everyone go support Johnson Family Cheese because they donate profits to local crisis pregnancy centers that supports women in need and helps save the babies rather than funding abortions. It helps the women make educated decisions and know that there's families that want their baby. That's what I'm talking about. Hello, welcome. If you're just joining the broadcast, we are podcasting, we are YouTube living, we are periscoping, and we're recording for my podcast soon to come out. And, so that's the thing. You see the difference there is putting the attention towards a good cause rather than putting all the attention towards the boycott. So yeah, you have to understand Americans work for these companies. That's right. Boycotting could hurt. Left starts boycotting the right, and then we're not even supporting each other anymore as Americans. I would buy something from a liberal if I loved what they have. So let's get some more questions here. Agreed. Wolf Pro 1 says, Die Hard 1979. 1 says, did you ever consider yourself a liberal? If so, what woke you up? Well, I would say I didn't necessarily, I probably considered myself a liberal in the way that I thought, by the way, liberals are not the bad guys. It's hard left. It's the leftists. So liberalism is more like, everyone can have a say. It's a little more moderate than what new wave liberalism is now. Like we see that Dave Rubin is a liberal. He's a classic liberal, but he's very conservative in his thinking. So real liberals are a little more like libertarians, in that way. And correct me if I'm wrong, but real liberalism. But what we say is liberalism is a mental disorder. We say liberals. We're using the term more like leftists. It's like alt left. It's the hard left who are just like Trump derangement syndrome. They hate Trump. They hate anything that distinguishes male and female. That's families, hardworking Americans. They want no borders. They want open access for all. Like that kind of thing is cray. So my story I've shared before, and I'm writing a book actually. When the book is more finished, I'll be shopping it to some publishers and maybe self-publish it myself. We'll see. But it tells my story of how I was raised and how I became the genius that I am, but how I became who I am. And I think it's very interesting. I've been through a lot of struggles. I touched lightly on those subjects. I've been, sexually molested when I was a child. I was homeless. I have been down in the dumps. I lived in my car for a while, lived in a van. My family, we lived in a van. We were homeless together for a short while. My mom dealt with mental illness. I lost both my parents at a young age. And there's a lot of other things in there as well. I was in an abusive relationship. I had a crisis pregnancy. I gave a child up for adoption. I've been on food stamps. I mean, my gosh, I've had so many struggles in my life, but that is why I can legitimately tell you who I am today. And I'm so grateful for who I am and what I've accomplished. So I have been there. So I lived in a van down by the river. Oh, so hilarious. Yeah. But I'll tell you, I don't know if I considered myself a liberal. I'll tell you this. I'm like a reborn Republican. I was raised Republican with my families. We fully supported Bush during the Bush era. I grew up when Clinton was president, and I was like, and the whole impeachment scandal, right? Such a scandal. And then Bush was president. And we loved Bush in our family, and we loved the patriotism that was right after September 11th. The attacks were awful, but the patriotism really, I love that feeling of being proud of my country, seeing American flags everywhere and be like, you're American, so am I. Love ya. And everybody, it was so beautiful. Like, I was just at Hard Rock Cafe in DC the other day eating with my husband, and there was a full-on American bikini and American bell-bottoms, like American flag bikini and bell-bottoms, Beyonce wore at the United We Stand concert in 2001, raising money to support the 9/11 victims and their families. Can you imagine Beyonce doing that now? There would be no way. But she was wearing an American flag bikini top, American flag pants, bell bottoms. I would wear that. It looked freaking amazing, right? But United We Stand. Like, I mean, that was, do you guys remember 2001? It was incredible. I mean, it was horrible with the attacks on New York. I was in California at that time. But it was incredible what happened after, how everyone banded together. We were actually unified. And Bush was he was president during that time. He actually handled it well. And then, I have criticisms on how Bush handled it. Now I'm like, oh boy, as a kid, your view of the president's very different. Now, I'm not a big supporter of the Bush family. I think they are totally the part of the swamp, and he never did anything for the pro-life movement. He said he was pro-life, but they never did anything. They're sort of a little bit of a crime family in that way. I don't really know. So, but during that time, that's what we had. So we watched Fox News when Glenn Beck was on Fox News with his dry erase board, Glenn Beck actually came out for Trump. Did you guys see that? Y'all see that? I met Glenn personally. I think he's a great guy. I think he's done a lot for the movement. He's been a conservative a long time. And yeah, he was anti-Trump during the 2016 election, but he came out pro-Trump. He put on his MAGA hat. I love that. I'm telling you, there's no former Trumpers. There's no former Trump supporters. There's only people that are pre-Trump supporters and then they become Trump supporters. You realize that? I used to be a Trump supporter. Everyone's a Trump supporter is a diehard Trump supporter, no matter how late you got on the Trump train. Totally. So I testify to that. So, because it's been only a couple of years I've been on the Trump train. But I'm very active and very outward and bold. So I guess I'm not really answering your whole question, right? But thank you. Sounds like a great book deal. Should be in your future. I hope so. I just want to bring you guys my story and what's going on with my life. So I was raised Republican, but it was my parents' conservatism, my parents' Republicanism. It's sort of like you're raised doing chores, but when you grow up, your house is a mess because it was your parents telling you to do those chores, right? And as an adult, you're like, oh, I have to do the dishes. I have to tell myself to do the dishes. I have to do the laundry. And your house is a mess because you're like 19 years old out of the house. So during those formulative like college times, I was hardcore Republican when I was a teenager, hardcore. And then when I was like 19, 20, 21, I started falling away from it because then I moved to Los Angeles. We moved, I was in New York when I was younger and then LA. I mean, I've been growing up in liberal cities, Santa Barbara, and which is where Kathy Ireland's from. But then I became, and then my parents passed away. So I'd say I moved pretty far away from right-wing politics. I would say, because I voted, by the way. Yeah, so I was 18. I think it was 18. When I was able to vote, 18, I think it was 18 or 19. It's funny, most of the bad things that happened in my life. I'm just kidding. But when I was able to vote, I voted for Obama. So the first term, 2008, trying to think how old I was. I'm pretty sure I was 18. And I wanted a Black president. I'm not going to lie to you. And welcome, Eric, first day on Periscope. So I wanted to, be political in a way, but I didn't know what politics. I was on the student council, but at 16 years old, I was on the city council, youth city council. So I was a city council member. That's about as far as my politics went. I wanted to help my community. But as far as like national politics, I thought, Obama, yeah. And then, of course, he let us down. And I found that out really quickly. And it just totally disillusioned me from politics. I was really like anti-politics after that, not really caring. And then I just was like drifting. I wasn't really political. And then I started getting more back into conservative values, but I wasn't really following conservative tastemakers. I wasn't in any conservative groups. I was straight up in Hollywood. Is there an independent? I think I actually was a registered independent. I was more like an independent. I was one of those undecided independent voters because I was just like, I don't like what's going on here. I don't like this. I don't like where my country's going. I don't like the division. I don't like what Obama did. I don't like how there's so much racism now. I don't like what's going on. And I was overseas touring, throwing myself into music. Long story, I know, you guys, but basically at the end of it, I saw Bernie and I liked his trade deals. Funny, the president said that in his speech the other day. in DC. He said like the deals on trade, how he wanted less foreign trade, less foreign influences. I like that about Bernie Sanders. And I like that he seemed like he was a populist. He was a populist movement. So I was like, oh, and my friends were into him. So I thought, oh, he might be like the outsider, this guy. And then, I looked into him, of course, and I'm like, oh, he's a freaking socialist. And I mean, I've known socialism is wrong. It's like communism is like, Marxism. Come on now. Like I knew that. My parents raised me really well with that. So I never called myself a Democrat. I never called myself a liberal. I was a registered independent. But I was very much like I'm going to make up my mind based on what I believe is right rather than following with different groups. Hi, welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the Joy Villa show. So yeah, exactly. So many of us voted for Obama in 2008, but by 2012, I was disappointed in him. Absolutely. I voted third party in 2012. There you go. I probably would have voted for third party too. And hey, welcome. Hey. And, I just realized that it's not about the political party, it's about your values, where your values lie. And then Trump, hey, thank you for that heart. Was that a super heart? That was gorgeous. Thank you so much. By the way, I started a Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/joyvilla if you like to support this broadcast, you like to support what's going on. So, yeah. Somebody said, you're looking rough without makeup. By the way, I don't care. That's why I do these podcasts without my makeup on, because this is who I am. If you know me, when I wake up in the morning, this is how I look. And I know I'm naturally gorgeous. And I did a little spa treatment yesterday. So my skin's a little bit raw, but it feels so good. Bitte. So it's great. Yeah, I'm going to block this guy because he's a hater. This guy's a freaking hater. I can't with that. I'm like, don't get up on my broadcast and be a hater. So, and he's a perv. So let's see what else is going on. Welcome. Yeah, I wanted to believe in Obama, even as a Republican. Yeah, because he was like uniting us, right? Oh, thank you. She was born gorgeous. Thank you, guys. Yeah, but that's the thing. Classical liberal is socially liberal and fiscally liberal. Libertarian is socially liberal and fiscally conservative. Thank you for that. So libertarian, I would say that if the libertarian, my dad was part of the Tea Party movement, by the way. My dad was a Tea Partyist. He said he was Tea Party, which was really cool movement going on. And I was looking for myself. Now I identify for when Trump red pilled me again, by the way. I became red pill again. I would say I was pretty libertarian. Yeah, because I'm still pretty socially liberal. In that way, I don't care who you marry. I believe in human rights. So everyone has a right, if you're transgender, you're gay, whatever, you have a right to live your life and get respect for it. But what I don't believe it's been taken too far is this small percentage of the population, right? 0.0 something 4% is gay or transgendered. It's a very, very small percentage. They're now dictating what Hollywood should do and what people should do and what the law should be. I don't want the law to be I have to call you by your pronoun. That's crazy. That becomes insane. I believe in less government control. I've always believed in that. So now it's true. If you don't pick a side, you kind of get hated by both. Someone was saying on Periscope, and I don't believe in that because listen, I get hated by the left and the right. Okay. I have haters from both sides because I refuse to be 100% following the masses. I don't care what you call yourself. And so Trump was my red pill moment. I was like, oh, I don't know about Trump. I don't like some of the things he's saying, because I heard all the stuff. He's misogynistic and the grab him by the pussy thing. And then he's racist and all these things. And I'm caught in listening to all these headlines. I'm overseas and I'm like, okay, he kind of sounds like he's crazy, but I'm going to vote for him because he makes more sense than everyone else. And then, after I voted for him, I was still yeah, I voted for Trump, but I wouldn't tell anybody. And then by December, January, of course, when he got elected, I was fully, I did all my research. I did all my research before, but I was still a little sheepish. And then I was I kept researching, watching the debates, watching what he did, listening to him, listening to his rallies, his speeches. And I was wait a second, they got it wrong. Like it was a conversion that took a couple months. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, I had to like peel off the layers of hate in CNN and having watched and listened to all this crap. I didn't really watch the news, but all you have to do is see the headlines. You open up your Apple News and it would just be headlines and all fake news headlines. I loved how he was calling out the fake news. So I started going, wait, his values align with myself. Because he was president when I was a kid. And I was just like, oh, like he's the worst. He's so gross. Like, so, and of course we know Hillary's really gross. So like really gross. So this is, and of course I want a woman president, but she's not the woman for the job. We should have a first female president. We should have a Black president. We should have an Asian president, Mexican president. We should have presidents that look like our population, which is really well mixed and really, really diverse. But we need diversity of thought, and we need a good, strong conservative president. And Donald Trump just completely knocked out the box. Like I would still probably be a independent, probably kind of libertarian. If it wasn't for Trump, I don't think I would have came to the Republican side. Thank you, Joy, for president. But when Trump ran as Republican and he's like new wave, out of the box, populist, crazy Republican, like my kind of Republican. You know what I mean? Because I mean, look, he's been red pilled and seen the things, but he's been obvious criticizing Obama and things that are happening. So he's been very seeing what's going on. And really, what truly red pilled is I saw him on Oprah. He ran in 2012. That's right. He did run in 2012. I know in the 80s, 1989, he was going to run. He ran. And I saw something on Oprah where she's asked him, would you ever be president? He's like, no, only if the country really needed me. And in that interview, he was just so humble and so right. And just like, listen, he was talking about all the same things he talks about today. We need to close our borders. We need to strengthen the American economy. And he's like, it's bad, but it's not that bad. If it's really, really, really bad, then I'll run, but only then. And now he's running, not because he's has an inflated ego or he's racist, like all these dumb things people say. Like I've met so many people work in the White House that are Mexican. Like, come on, he hates Mexicans. Give me a break. He's racist. His daughter is Jewish. Like, let's get real here. His son-in-law is Jewish. His daughter's converted to Judaism. Like, I mean, please, he's a Nazi. Like, I mean, they went so over the top that it does make you go, wait a second, and I was during the election, I was blocking people from left and right because I was like, oh, it's so gross. I hate this. Like everyone hates each other in 2016, especially early when everyone's hating each other. And now I still hate that. Like I'll still block you if you're a hater. Like I don't care what your politics are. If you're a hater, you're a hater. You're not communicating correctly. Like you need to be say your point, but be respectful, right? Like I don't want that mess. Like we need to talk together. How are you going to red pill people if you're just telling them you hate them and they're like a puppet and they're like a snake and a fraud and I hate you because you voted for Hillary? Like I know people who voted for Hillary who are now on the Trump train. You can't ever dismiss people because of their past, because it doesn't matter about your past. And what matters is about your future. What are you doing now to create your future? So I am proud to be on the Trump train. Trump red pilled me. I became a Trumplican hardcore. And then I started doing more research into Republicans. I was like, I think I am a Republican. And now I fully identify as a Republican. As a conservative, I don't mind saying Republican as well, because where Republicanism is going, the GOP is going, it's going really well. But I am not the old style, Who's next? Ted Nugent? Ted Nugent is out. He's a conservative. Yeah. And I'm a millennial. That's right. I am a millennial. I'm a millennial, so that also has a lot to do with it. Millennials were very confused about politics, but then we see more millennials more than ever becoming conservatives. So I'm right on the awakening with my age group, which is really, really cool. So I've had a reawakening thanks to Trump, and I've always been patriotic. That's the thing. I was like, I've always loved America. I always wanted America to be the best country in the world, to be great. I love the patriotism. I love American flags. I've never been those people like, oh yeah, America sucks. Like a lot of my millennial brothers and sisters would be like, oh, America sucks. Thank God for capitalism. You can own businesses. You can be who you want to be. You can create the American dream. The American dream is for everyone. And unfortunately, Democrats want to take it away. They really want to take it away. So that's the thing. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to block these haters who come in here and try to scream things at me. It's only here. No, I never get any haters on YouTube, but also I get a lot more followers on Periscope, like in the thousands. And my YouTube is unfortunately really shadow banned. Periscope has been good to me. So I've not been getting a lot of, haters. The more followers you get, the more haters you get. Thank you, Larry One Love, beautiful women. They don't bother me. Thank you, look great makeup or not. As a libertarian, Diehard says, I concur. I'll keep taking my chances with Trump over anybody else. He is a juggernaut. Trump is incredible. I do think that when it comes down to it, I think when you take those tests, I think I'm more like a moderate conservative, like in the middle, because I am kind of socially liberal, but on some things I'm not socially liberal, but I am like, I don't care what you call yourself. I don't care who you have sex with. I don't care who you marry. Like none of that stuff matters. What I care about is, do you want to save babies? Do you want to have less government? Do you want the IRS to be abolished? Do you want less taxes? Do you want more capitalism, more growth for Americans, for small businesses? Do you want the big banks to be broken up? Like, do you want the globalization to be stopped? Do you want countries and states to have their own say and strong currency for each country? Like, I don't believe in this one world, one money unit, one global controlling, because they'll tell you it's for your own health. Oh, well, I'll have free healthcare. We'll all have free college. It will be one controlling boom that tells you what to do. And it will be all powerful, all evil, totally corrupted. That's what happens. We cannot have that. So I do believe that we have to have broken up smaller governments, controlling, like the states should have more say in what they want. Yes, we do need federal government, but it should be scaled back. Like government is like, whoa, government is your God. No, it's not. It should be running post office, DMV, a little bit of taxes. I think income tax should be abolished. Like just have sales tax. Income tax should be abolished. Why are you taxing my income? I make my money. Why should you be taking it? It doesn't make sense. But sales tax is a great way. Like when you buy things, that helps it go back into the economy. Should be public parks and public monuments. The federal government should be protecting those. But it should be so scaled back. Like a government job should mean you're basically like making sure the streets are clean, the roads are capped, not telling me what to think and do, not telling me what books I can read, not telling me, this is what you should do because you're this race, not giving so many handouts, not giving food stamps and all that stuff. It's great. It's crazy. You've been gaslighted and believe the hype and talking points. So this is somebody who obviously has not heard my whole story. So I come from a very different background. So and if you heard my whole story, I come from a Republican background, but then went more Democrat. And I don't want to lie and say, yeah, I was a Democrat, but I voted Democrat, I voted for Obama. And I would say I was liberal. I would say I was like independent thinking, but I was very liberal. I was like, yeah, who cares? I was even kind of pro-choice. I was like, yeah, maybe I should scale it back. I'm in what I am. So it's not true, Benedict Trump. Less taxes. We want that. And in the fact that people be like, oh, you're brainwashed. Why? Because I'm Black, because I'm a woman, because I should have voted for Hillary. That's racist. See, the thing is when people tell me that, it's like, you can't call me a Nazi, right? So you'll say, oh, I'm brainwashed because you're supposed to be voting the other way. Yeah, turn off the TV, turn off CNN. Think for yourself. When you think for yourself, you're going to see that you have a lot of different views. You're not going to just think, oh, Trump is evil, because it's ridiculous. Look how much good he's done for the country. And look how many supporters he has. Like, we voted him in for a reason. He's going to protect the borders. He's protecting the sanctity of life. He's lowered taxes. He's brought 3.2 million jobs back into the economy. I mean, my gosh, he appointed a female CIA director, the first ever. Please don't spy on us. Please be good. But, the things he's done, he's got a female press secretary. He's got Kellyanne Conway, highest ranking, like in the White House, one of the highest ranking people. And she's a female. He's empowered women. He's got Black people, he's got white people, he's got Asian people, he's got Hispanic people, all voted for him and love him. He's got Muslims for Trump. He's got Latinos for Trump. He's got Christians for Trump, Scientologists for Trump. He's got Republicans for Trump, Democrats for Trump, liberals for Trump, libertarians for Trump, Sikh for Trump, Buddhists for Trump, atheists for Trump. I mean, there's never been a more diverse thinking group that has supported one political candidate and then elected him into office. Why? Because he knows what the everyday, every man, every woman thinks and wants. He's plugged into what we really want. No on all these taxes. Yes on giving small businesses tax breaks and helping us live the American dream, protecting our families. Yes on saying we need to close our borders to countries that have a ton of terrorism going on. We need to figure out what's happening. Yes on we need to empower people with the Constitution. We need to fight for pro-life. If he's pro-life, he's going to be pro-life. Like, you can't just say you're pro-life and not do anything for the movement. He is America first. No to globalism. Yes to protecting our borders, our nation, our sanctity of life, our virtues, our values, American citizens. Whether you were born here or come here from another country, if you are a citizen, you should be protected. Not if you come from another country and demand help, but you don't want to acclimate and you don't want to be a citizen. No other country thinks like that. No other successful country. So, yeah. And rednecks too. That's right. Democrats do not want Black people to have the party. They don't. Thank you. They don't. Listen, I'll pay for the wall. If Mexico doesn't pay for the wall, I want to pay for the wall. If he took donations, I would help pay for that wall. He'll probably end up paying for it. No, but I mean, really, Americans are sick of it. We're sick of the shit. We're sick of the lies we've been fed by Obama, the division created by the Democratic Party. We're sick of that. We want diversity of thought. We want our thoughts to be heard. We want to be respected. We want America first. Thank you, by the way. So great. You guys are great. You should block liberals because you should block liberals. Maybe they need to hear your voice. No, I'm not going to block liberals. You shouldn't. Exactly, Daniel. I don't block liberals at all because I've got some people here who are like criticizing, and I'm not going to block you if you're criticizing it. Even though this guy he said Trump is a liar. I'm not going to block him because he's saying what he believes to be true. As long as you're not disrespecting me. I mean, yeah, that's rude, but it's not crossing the line in my opinion, because he does need to hear this. He's on my view, he or she. Sorry, I don't want to misgender you, but I'm glad that you're listening. I'm glad that you came here. You're listening to what I'm saying. You're seeing the other comments. You're welcomed here. You can be a liberal. You can be a hardcore anti-Trumper as long as you're respectful and you say your views respectfully. So he was being respectful. So I don't have a problem with that. I'm not going to get into a whole debate. I don't like to get, into these arguments and these debates because that's not my thing. I speak to you guys broadly in love and in compassion. And I say my viewpoints, and you don't have to agree with everything, but you will respect it or you will be kicked out of the room. That's how it goes. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Phil. Hi, you guys. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, being a lib or lib or con makes it a us versus them thing. America is one. Exactly. I've been lied to by every president until Trump. I hear you. I wish I was alive when Reagan was president. He was one of my favorites, and Lincoln. But yeah, it's just we've had enough of it. Daniel says, preach it. All right, you guys, I got to go to the gym, and it's been an hour now. So I am happy to have talked with you guys. I had a whole bunch of headlines prepared, current news to talk about, but we just went on a whole nother thing, which I love. This is why I love doing these live chats. This is why I love connecting with you. You are my Joy Tribe, #Joy Tribe. And if you want to support the movement, support Joy Tribe, support Joy Villa, the Joy Villa show, everything that I am doing, if you love me, if you want to see me do more and see me do well, which I appreciate that, please consider doing a little donation here on the subscribe, on whatever subscribe streaming service, or going to joyvilla.com. You can actually purchase a t-shirt, an autographed portrait of me in my MAGA dress, of me, of my music, of all kinds of stuff, of me in American flag bikini. It's a little cheesy, but I love it because I'm a little cheesy, and I love America. I love being patriotic, and I love you guys. My singing pen, my Joy Villa singing pens for sale on Amazon, sings the national anthem. You can also donate. Go to Patreon. I keep wanting to say Periscope. Go to patreon.com/joyvilla. That's patreon.com/joyvilla. And you can donate any amount that you like to keep this broadcast going and to support independent art and free thinking. I love you guys. Thank you, Die Hard. Glad you loved it. I'm the one with the baby that dances to your music. Hi, Phil. Thank you. Yeah, this is wonderful. I love you guys. So last thoughts. Thanks, Wesley. Thanks for joining the broadcast. Thanks to everyone who joined the broadcast. Thank you again to Lynn Meyer, who just donated $25 on YouTube. She tipped me. I really appreciate that. If you want to tip even $5, $2, it's incredible. It makes me know that you like what I'm saying and you want to keep it going. So I appreciate that. And remember, you can go to joyvilla.com, check out my music. You can go to Periscope at @joy_villa. Make sure you subscribe. That's also Twitter at @joy_villa. Go ahead and subscribe. On YouTube, it's Miss Joy Villa. That's youtube.com/Miss Joy Villa. And you can follow me on Facebook, Joy Villa, at Joy Villa Music. So I love you guys. Stay strong, everyone. Make sure you communicate with others. Make sure you have a great, beautiful day. Know that you are a spiritual being. You were created for amazing things. You can do anything you put your mind to. Have heart. Make sure you know yourself and make sure you love yourself. All right. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Let me just end the stream here. Bye, you guys.